Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Jordy and I'm here to do a general tarot card reading for the Libra collective. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, commenting below, and subscribing to my channel. I do appreciate all of your love and support. We're going to get started by pulling some shuffling and then pulling some cards from the This Might Hurt tarot deck. And this is my favorite deck right now, even though the title kind of sucks. It's a beautiful deck. I just feel like the title pushes people away, but tarot can hurt. Maybe that's a necessary disclaimer when you're using this deck because it's so striking. All right, let's get into this reading for Libra. Keep in mind these readings are general. They may or may not resonate with you. You can always watch a collective reading if you're waiting for your next zodiac sign reading to come out. Okay, on the split, my favorite part of the reading is the Six of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles reversed. Interesting. I'm getting a story here. I'm getting that someone is finally being generous. Resources are opening up. Someone's letting go of some resources. You could simply be donating things or giving things away or giving your time in some way, being charitable, or maybe some resources are being unlocked and some by like an organization or institution. It seems like a moment of generosity, and even though the King of Pentacles is reversed, I want to say they wouldn't normally do this, or you wouldn't normally do this, but you're kind of feeling different. Maybe the rules have changed. Maybe the circumstances have changed, and the King of Pentacles needs to learn and adapt and change as well. This King of Pentacles, perhaps you, or a person, or a company, or a loan, a bank, an organization, like somebody on some level or a group of people have realized that something has to shift in order for there to be abundance to flow, and then abundance does flow, and it's great, you know. Love to start off a reading with a positive money message. Let's see, we've got the Five of Swords and we have the Queen of Wands reversed. I feel as if you've been denied this support, this help, this generosity in the past. You know, the denial being the block, not even competitiveness, not even a block. I want to say with the Five of Swords that like you just didn't win, or you didn't get the attention, or you didn't convince somebody enough of your worth, your talents, your skills, your wisdom. You were looked at as indispensable or unvaluable in some way, or maybe you looked at somebody or a situation that way, and then that perspective has changed. You know, there's been a learning, there's been a growing, there's been an understanding that the situation has changed as well, the environment has, and that a generosity, a permission has to be given. Access is being given in some way to in your life, or maybe you're giving access to somebody. It's an act of generosity, but it's also something that may have been applied for or may have been in demand. We have the Fool as your first card. In the current moment, we're going to pull a 10-card tarot spread, almost like a Celtic cross. So this is the first card. Usually the Fool reversed talks about risk-taking. You have the Two of Swords. Okay. Normally I read deeply into the first few cards, but I feel like I need more cards to like get deeper into this aspect. I mean, the Fool is a new beginning, a fresh start. It's all those things. And the Two of Swords is a blockage or a complex decision, like a very difficult decision, or a block in some way, a stalemate. But it also is a 2. It can represent upcoming energy, and the Fool is Aries energy. We're in Libra season now. There's going to be a full moon in Aries at some point, maybe in the next 2 weeks. I don't know when the timing of this full moon is, but I'm just kind of getting that the next 2 weeks are critical. Even before or after a full moon, that energy is still in play. So there's something here about the timing of the next Aries the full moon coming up for you, Libra. I mean, the 2 Swords is a Libra card. And maybe there's a new beginning or a risk to be taken here, because access to generosity and resources has opened up. Here's that King of Pentacles again. Yeah, like on one side of the 2 Swords, on one side of the stalemate, there's you, who may be perceived as a fool in some way. On the other side, or maybe you perceive someone as a fool, and on the other side, you're the King of Pentacles, reversed, who is realizing they're wrong in some way. So in one way, it's like the roles are reversing. It's like the King of Pentacles may have been in a position where they could say yes or no, and that they may have been right. There may have been rules or guidelines or things like that would back up the King of Pentacles position, not to be generous, not to give access to certain resources or permission or time. But then the Fool is kind of saying, like, well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to camp out in front of your building until you give me these resources. Like, the Fool has nowhere to go but into the new beginning, with hardly anything in their back, in their bag. So at some point, there's generosity happening. I'm almost picking up on the fact that, we got a lot of homelessness happening. It's always been a problem, but I mean, it's getting worse with the housing market. And maybe this is an energy of talking about more resources having to be given because there's a new understanding of how the system is not working in some way. This could be happening on a collective level, Libra, and maybe it's filtering down and affecting you in some way, or this could be happening literally in your life. You could be the King of Pentacles, or you could be the Fool. And the stalemate is shifting. You have the Hermit reversed coming out. It feels horrible. The energy feels horrible in this card. Oh, I got it right in the throat. My throat is the chakra that I feel the most. And this feels slimy. Sometimes the Hermit card, beautiful, pure, wisdom, seeking, hermit card energy, sage-like energy. When it's reversed, to me, sometimes can represent the complete opposite. Like lack of virtue, not pure, criminal, willing to do anything. When the Hermit card is going out of its way to remove itself from karmic repercussions, the Hermit reverse is almost like getting their hands deep in the karmic repercussions. So some type of malintent or lack of regard for other people. That's in the recent past. And the lantern in the card is illuminating that. There's no... And the star is also illuminating that in the past. It's obvious. There's corruption. So this King of Pentacles being generous. But they're also learning, whether it was them or whether it was their beliefs or the rules that they abided by, something was corrupt. Wow, in the future is the Empress and the Three of Swords, representing the collective or you or Libra energy today. So these are cards of Libra as well. Lots of Libra energy in the reading. Libra is about balance and equality and fairness and sensuality and love and all that. To me, the Three of Swords is speaking of loss, and the Empress, to me, reverse, is speaking of massive loss. There's been massive loss. I wonder why that's in the future position. I think it's a sign saying that, like, even though the generosity is coming and that there's a shift happening, it's never going to be enough. There's so much loss. There's so much suffering. So there's so much that needs to be healed with the Empress card here. And nurtured. So when we look at how people are going to take advantage of this generosity, this unlocking of resources, it may not be pretty. It may not be used in the highest way or in the most effective way, in the most stable and abundant way. So that's where, like, leadership and guidance is needed. Yeah, it's almost like a free-for-all with the Five of Swords reversed here. Unlocking of resources, a free-for-all, a throwing away of the rules. This is very chaotic energy. And it's big money. There we go. 10 of Pentacles in the Fears and Desires position. Big money is unlocking. And the outcome is the Queen of Swords. You got to keep your wits about you, Libra. You may be in a position where you can help people, or at least help yourself. Very interesting energy. I feel like I'm losing the story a bit, but I think that you guys are on track with what I'm saying. I just think personally, I don't know where to go with this. So I'm going to clarify the individual card pairings that I sometimes do on my readings. Just the top and bottom card pairings. So in the current moment and in the future is the Fool reversed and the Empress reversed. So this is kind of like a mother and a child dynamic. They're both reversed. We're talking about the collective. We're talking about, you know, a lot of healing that's needed, a lack of nurturing, a lack of guidance. People or you having had to camp out and wait and basically just exist without the resources, without the nurturing. Whew. So sad. And it's like abandonment. It's like collective abandonment. Whether you or your decisions have gotten you to that point, a lack of discipline or guidance has gotten you to a low, not even a low point, but just a point of, like, bare minimum. And there's so much healing that has to happen after this stalemate, after this tension is released. It's just going to release more pain in the beginning. So it's almost like a very beautiful thing is happening because unlocking of resources, but we're seeing ugliness. I don't know how else to say it. And we're also seeing people taking advantage of it, a free-for-all. It's a lot of money. The rules, the guidance, the control is no longer there. Where does this leave you, Libra? There's quite a lot of Libra cards in your reading today. The Two of Swords, the Empress, the Three of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. Where does this leave you? Well, be logical. Empower yourself. Don't let yourself get hurt. Receive what is given. And witness if other people are in part of the situation, the chaos. There's something here about witnessing it, because there's the blindfold and the Two of Swords, and then there's the Queen of Swords with the glasses on. I mean, if this is a collective energy for Libra, like if this is like a collective equality consciousness energy, or if it's even just a small group of people, it doesn't seem like it's just you. There's consequences. Oh, there's a housefly. There's consequences to this big money unlocking, you know? And there's a way to like keep yourself clear of those consequences, you know? I feel like we're just seeing a snapshot of what's to come or what's happening, and then there's so much more to unfold. We're just seeing a tight little image picture frame of what is going to happen, and there's a lot of wasting as well, I want to say, with this resources, this generosity. But that's okay, because it's almost like that whole thing where like you give money to someone who's begging on the street, you can't expect them or tell them what to do with that money. They have to make the decision themselves to do with it in a way that's going to benefit them, and maybe the benefit to them is just, you know, getting that next high or getting that next drink, because it's you know, it's just regulating their bodies, their nervous system. So there's something about that in this reading, and there's also something about like, even though the big corruption or the big control, the big rules that were in place that were keeping people piling up at the door needing these resources, even though that's changing and that's being understood, there's still corruption and winning and losing happening on different levels around that unlocking of resources. So it's not going to be perfect, you know. The Hermit reverse, the Five of Swords reversed is definitely like a criminal mindset. Anyway, again, I don't know exactly what the purpose of like saying this to whoever's watching this video is, except for that it's a witnessing of this energy. This is just like a getting that energy out in a video, perhaps, just so that it can be acknowledged later, something like that. So I guess that's what the purpose of this reading was today. I have no idea. I don't come up with these stories. I just kind of channel it. So hopefully it's helpful for some of you. Very interesting. Maybe predicting something happening in your life, or maybe it's happening on a larger scale, or both. So we'll see how it plays out. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you again soon.